Today we're going to be looking at Bollinger Bands. This indicator was developed by John Bollinger back in the 70s. Bollinger Bands are volatility bands placed above and below a moving average. Volatility is based on the standard deviation, which changes as volatility increases and decreases. The bands will automatically widen when volatility becomes greater, and they will narrow when volatility decreases. The flexible nature of Bollinger Bands also means they can be used on different securities with the standard settings. For signals, Bollinger Bands can be used to identify M tops and W bottoms to determine strength of a trend. So let's go take a look at the charts and identify some of these M tops and W bottoms with Bollinger Bands. I have on the screen a simple candlestick chart. It's a daily chart of a well-known security, and I'm going to show you how to put the Bollinger Bands on this chart. First thing you do, it's an on-chart study, which means it's going to overlay on the price action. We go up to on-chart studies, click once, go down to Bollinger Bands, click once again, and you can see that the period is 20. That's the moving average in the center right here, and the deviation is 2. That's the standard setting for this particular study. So you click off, and what John Bollinger was saying with the bands is the prices, like here, are going to stay within the confines of the bands about 89% of the time, which is pretty true. So what we're looking for is a W bottom, and I see one right here. Before I show you what that is, below this indicator, below the chart, we have a MACD indicator. Just very simple. It's a trend following tool. You've seen our earlier videos on this. You'll know how to use it. Here's what a W bottom looks like according to John Bollinger and his Bollinger Bands. First of all, you can see the market came down here, made a low, came back up here, came down, and then started moving up and started walking the band. Breakout occurred right here when prices exceeded the high here. You're off to a trend, and you had the confirmation with the bands. That's how it works on a W bottom. Now let's take a look at a W top. Okay, we've learned how to spot W bottoms using the Bollinger Bands. Now let's take a look at spotting M tops using Bollinger Bands. Now, M tops and W bottoms were discovered by Arthur Merrill in his Behavior of Prices on Wall Street. These are 16 patterns he developed. But the Bollinger Bands help you identify them even further and make you more comfortable in trading that pattern. So let's put on our Bollinger Bands on this chart. So just go to On Chart Studies, click it once, it'll drop down menu, choose Bollinger Bands. As you can see, it's still the default setting. It tells you a little bit about the Bollinger Bands right here as well. And you can see our default settings are already in place. The 20-day moving average and the 2 standard deviations. So you can see quite clearly on the chart that we have what we consider to be an M top. Starting from here, we moved up, then moved down, created the center of the M, moved back up, challenged the previous high, exceeded it just by a little bit, and then came down and broke below this area right here. That created a M top. Now you can also look at the indicator we have below this, because you should always use the Bollinger Band in conjunction with some sort of trend following indicator. Now the MACD, or the MACD, is a trend following indicator developed by Gerald Appel, and we have a lesson on that too. You can see here we had a high, the market came down, had another high, but the high was lower than this high, which was higher than this high. So you had a divergence. What that means is you simply, I'll put the candlestick charts on to show you, we had a higher high here, but a lower low here on the MACD. That gave you a negative divergence indicating price is headed lower. That's another strong indication that the prices are indeed heading lower, and that's exactly what happened with this M top. So simply put, M tops are very important and W bottoms are very important. I think these are the 2 most important features of the Bollinger Bands indicator. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you can incorporate these tools and techniques into your personal trading. Every success.